Okay, we're talking with Corey Davis, filmmaker from Georgia. Lots of filmmakers from Georgia these days. We actually showcased two of his films at two separate festivals. We got Red, which is an animation film, 24 minutes long, played at the Romance and Relationship Festival. Then we have your documentary, the Corey Davis Story, which is about you, Corey Davis. But let's talk about your film, your animation film, Red. Have you done animation before this film?
Uh yes, I've done some 2D animation prior to that. I've been doing that since 2014 on this software called Toontastic.
Okay.
Um and I've just been basically playing around with that software and just making puppetry style animation, and it's pretty fun to do.
Have you like made other animation films since this film?
Uh yes, I have in the style of 2D. The last one I've made, it was a sequel to one that I've done back in 2016. It's called Welcome Back, Bori. I haven't done one since, but that was pretty much the last one that I did in that particular style. And as far as the 3D style that I did with Red, the last animated film I did was a film called Love Cries, which was released about 3 years ago.
Cool. So you like so then animation is something you're gonna go back to, obviously.
Um, I mean, I'll dip into it from time to time just for fun, but it's not really the main medium that I want to, you know,
That's it.
thrive in for.
So you wrote this screenplay. It feels it feels a little bit autobiographical. Would that be a correct assessment?
Somewhat, yes. I was fantasizing over this girl I liked at the time, and I didn't know how to get my feelings out, so I wanted to kind of create this film as a way to express those feelings in a way. And at the time, that's what the main motivation of the film was. But over the years, I decided to shift that motivation and just allow for it to be about love in general and just basically having people, find something that comes naturally and, you know, being able to enjoy that with someone that, you care about.
So this is like this was like story based in your high school experiences?
Somewhat, yes.
Because I like the idea of like kind of like you're in these confined spaces like the library or the classroom, and everybody's kind of like observing each other in a sense, right? Where like they're trying to like they're almost like we're all spying on each other in this insecure moment in our time in our lives where like we're just not able to express our emotions like we hopefully are capable when you're later on, but just that kind of vulnerable time in your adolescence, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of like a metaphor, with the voyeuristic actions that took place between the characters in the library. It
Yeah,
it it, it kind of For me, it kind of showed my insecurities at the time, and it didn't exactly play out like that in real life, but it kind of showed myself in my mind like,
sure.
okay, there is this person right here that I like. I don't know how to tell them, so let me just hopefully, like, I'll crawl back, but hopefully she notices me or whatnot. So yeah,
Yeah, and then it was almost like a fantasy of your life in a sense.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Well, that's great storytelling, right? So you wrote what was your experience writing? And I know you made this up more than a few years ago. What was your experience making like writing screenplays before this film? Like kind of like was this like your introduction to writing scripts?
Uh, yeah, kind of, sort of, because at the time back in 2018 when this was released, I was obviously still in high school at the time, and I guess that was kind of like my amateur era, still trying to find the kinks of, what kind of stories I'd want to tell and how I'd go about telling them. And, basically I just wanted to kind of find my lane and see what I can do. So for me, it was just sort of like a prologue to the stuff that I'm doing currently.
So did you found your lane?
Yeah, I like to think so. I think I found a theme that I like to explore and stick to it.
So you mentioned in your bio that you're from Georgia, you're from a small town?
Yes.
What city?
It's a city called Hinesville near Savannah.
Okay. How many people are
Yeah.
live there?
It's somewhere in the low thousands. It's a very small city.
Yeah, it's low thousand. So like one high school, one would assume, one
Two high schools.
two high schools,
Yeah.
a couple supermarkets.
Yeah, a few supermarkets here and there.
Yeah.
Not too many though.
And then your mom was you were raised by your mom and basically she was a single mother
Yes.
and you had a couple brothers and sisters, like you had two brothers and sisters?
I had one brother and one sister.
Gotcha. And what do they think about your kind of dabble into into movies?
Oh, they're very supportive of it. They tune in almost all the time, and they encourage me to basically continue to do what I'm doing and get my stories out there and just reach out to people and basically just be steadfast with it because this is something that I've been wanting to do since I was like yay tall. So, it's always been a dream of mine since I was a kid. So, they've always been there with me since the very beginning.
And then so your mom champions your filmmaking pursuits.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you kind of grew into a prosperous state for the film industry because Georgia just seems to have been taking off like mad like crazy since like in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially with the tax incentives that they have here.
Well,
I think
that's
it's been
yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot
they're
of
booming.
jobs in the film movie industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, reminds me of Toronto in the late '90s, early 2000s, where it just came out of nowhere, and then it's like there was all kinds of. That's when I started. I moved to Toronto in 2000. There was like all kinds of jobs to our like not good jobs, like introduction to the scene, I guess, jobs, but where you work like 18 hours a day and clean up people's garbage, but you're still in the film industry.
Right, right. Yeah. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about the Corey Davis evolution story. So it's a documentary. It's over 2 hours long. It's a little, you can call it a little bit, like it's your story, right? So when did you
Yeah.
kind of decide to make a movie about you?
Well, this year, 2024 marked the 10-year anniversary of me practicing my filmmaking pursuits. So I started this back in 2014 when I was in the seventh going into eighth grade.
Okay.
And I wanted to share basically how far that I've come and still going to this day over the last 10 years. And, I wanted to kind of put this documentary together to kind of inspire people and encourage people to, follow their passions and their dreams and to, go beyond what's expected of you. Because, with me coming from a small town, we don't really get a lot of support in the arts, and a lot of people didn't really believe in this type of pursuit, or they didn't believe in the vision. And so I wanted to kind of express my frustrations and my aspirations, put it all in one video, and so just to spread awareness, and but also, like I said, to inspire and help elevate other people's voices in hopes that they can, you know, either do the same thing, or whatever it is that they want to do with their lives, they can follow their own pursuits.
So one of the first scenes in the film is this kid dancing. Who's the kid dancing?
Oh, that's me.
I know totally
Yeah.
setting that up, but basically
Oh,
you're quite the dancer. You got
yeah.
some skills.
Yeah, that kid, that kid, he's a lot braver back then than I am now because he definitely believed in unifying people with his gifts at the time. And what he wanted to do, I'm speaking in the third person here, what he wanted to do was he just wanted to show people that it was okay to be different. It was okay to, you know, beat to your own drum and, just stand out and, be extraordinary, no matter how different people may look at you or, no matter how odd or peculiar you might be to somebody. And, looking back at that kid today, it kind of gives me the motivation and the strength to, keep going at it,
Mm.
and getting better at it.
So you even got footage like in your mom's delivery when you were born. How'd you get that footage?
Oh, that was actually stock footage that I used.
Yeah, it's a good job. So basically, and then you kind of, but then you have like your baby photos, and then kind of showing the mean streets of Hind. I'm kidding, the mean streets of Hinesville, Georgia. Yeah, the one busy street, right, with street lights, and then there's a scene. Is that your sister in the background when you're doing?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, basically just, getting a little bit of my family in there, and, just
yeah.
showing my humble beginnings. Yeah.
Are you the middle child or the youngest child?
I'm the youngest.
So the youngest is three. So basically, yeah, that makes sense. Where you got this. I'm the youngest of three too, so maybe there's this creative ambition from
Okay.
that standing point of the sibling tree, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you kind of show your kind of like showing like who you are, like you are in America, but at the same time you're from a small town, and people don't do this, right? They don't make films where you come from.
No, no, they don't. Where I come from, they're more into athletics, which, it's not a bad thing, but, a lot of times there's this perception that sports is the only way out, or, uh, music maybe is the only way out. Like it's a lot of people trying to do the same thing. But there are others out there, like myself, who are talented, who are remarkable, and they don't get a lot of attention that I think that they deserve. And so coming from this environment, it's kind of hard for us to get out there and show our gifts and our ambitions and aspirations, but we try to commune with one another, every once in a while and, try to keep each other motivated and, uplift one another when we can.
Well, I guess it's context too, right? Where you see like I guess people see pardon to tell me if I'm wrong, but they see like black people playing in the NFL, playing in the NBA as a professional athletes. They see black artists and musicians, black hip hop artists. You know what I mean? Like they see success in those fields. You don't necessarily see as many black filmmakers as we should, I guess, right? So there's a
Right.
lack of context, I guess.
Right. It's just, and that's not to say that, those other avenues and fields aren't valid. Like, I am happy that, they're getting out there,
But at the same time,
but
the odds are it's the odds are probably being more to be a successful filmmaker than be a professional athlete. I figure they
right,
all
right,
have to do that. Like, what do they
right.
being a professional athlete? That's like one in a million.
Exactly. And it's like we've had a plethora of people from my hometown make it to the NFL actually. And
Oh wow,
I'm actually happy for them, by the way. Like,
that's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's all love, but you know, I just wish that they would recognize more talents than just those particular fields or whatnot.
At the same time, like you can make films forever. They can be in the NFL for what, five years? Because the average
Mm.
NFL player is what, 2 years? So, and you can make movies for the rest of your life.
True.
Right? So
Yeah.
anyway, so basically you kind of like flash forward to to 2007, is that when you kind of realized when you're six that you like storytelling, you like kind of the arts?
Yeah, that year was significant for me in the sense that, I guess you can say that's the year I finally found myself and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And I saw this rise of technology of that time.
Yeah,
And it kind of inspired me to, okay, one day I want to see my name on those scrolling credits. Or, one day I want to make my voice heard or make myself known because I use film as kind of like an outlet, as a way for me to express myself in ways that I can't do so in real life. And so, '07 was for me, that was like a comfort year of the 2000s for me. And I will always hold that year near and dear to me because it created this sort of awakening in my mind.
gotcha. Yeah, that's when it started. That's when it all started, I guess. I guess were you in grade
Yeah.
one at the time?
Yeah, then first grade, somewhere around there.
I guess that's an important year.
Yeah.
The first real year of school, I guess, right?
Right.
And then when did you kind of like when was your first like movie made? Maybe like maybe you didn't see show it to everybody, but when did you like get a camera and press and roll film and or roll video and start making a movie?
So I got my first smartphone at the age of 13 back in 2014.
Okay.
And so once I acquired that, that to me, that was a tool that allowed for me to, press that record button and, start filming whatever. So it was around that year and that time that, I was finally able to practice it and, just make something, because I mean, if you think about it, anyone can pull out a smartphone and press record. So it's kind of like we're all filmmakers in a sense in our everyday lives, if you really think about it, it's not necessarily the cinematic aspect of it. It's just a matter of what tools you have at your disposal and what you do with them that determine it.
Gotcha. And did you like in terms of your dancing, was that is that all nap? Did you take classes or like
Oh no, I just went crazy with it. I just kind of improvised and, did all that myself.
so you just like it's you're self-taught like you practice a lot of one because you got some really original moves going on.
Oh wow, you're the first person that
But
said
at
that.
the same time, I'm like maybe it's the person who's telling you that. Who knows, right? So
Yeah, the dancing, I did it, it wasn't really something that I truly had like a diehard passion for. It was just a mechanism that I used at the time to
yeah,
kind of unite people and, stop school fights and stuff like that. And
gotcha.
so,
Good.
yeah.
Did you when you were interviewing yourself, was there someone there, or did you just do it by yourself?
I did it on my own and I did it that way because to me this was more than just a documentary. This was kind of like a therapy session for me. So the
Yeah.
way I shot it was I wanted to shoot it as if I was sitting in a therapy office, talking to an actual therapist. In this case, maybe the audience. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Then so then you just kind of edited the film. You kind of found contacts with the editing.
Yeah, yeah. The editing was pretty smooth. I did that myself too, and just I wanted to edit it in a way that, like I said, edit it in the way that I was sitting in a therapist's office and
Yeah.
just talking.
Have you done that before? Like just talk without making a film?
Not a lot, but because that documentary, that's actually the first documentary I've ever made.
Mm.
So, you know, this one, since it was my first film in that style. I wanted to make it in the sense that um, I wanted to make I wanted to make it more like raw and, truthful. I wanted to have this sort of verisimilitude to it when people were watching it, and I wanted to kind of uh, express myself um, more intimately in the ways that, I didn't in my narrative pieces, through fictional characters. And so, what I did here was, okay, this is just me, the filmmaker. This is not me as some other character. Like, this is me actually talking directly to, people who actually have tuned in for all these years. It was kind of like a way for me to, you know, celebrate, but also be thankful of all the things that have transpired throughout that time.
Gotcha. And so what are you working on now?
Um, I'm working on this movie. It deals with the concept of exploring the metaverse, and I've been in production of it since 2023, and hopefully I'm going to wrap that up by sometime next year and release it towards the end of the year of 2025. But that's going to be a feature, and I'm just taking my time with it.
Yeah, you should. Another feature, I guess, right? So you can have two features by the time you're 2024.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Uh, it feels surreal, because I'm so used to making like shorts and stuff. But I mean, I have made features in the past, but they were like animated features or whatnot. But as
Okay.
far as, making real features, it's kind of more along the lines of, okay, it's more time with it, more effort, but eventually it'll pay off, hopefully, and you'll look back at it and hopefully people will like it, or people will come around with it, and it's not so much the result, it's more so the process that's rewarding to me when I make these. So I always enjoy making them.
Gotcha. So, but at the same time, you want that this is what you want your career to be. You want to be a filmmaker.
Yes.
So that's what you're aspiring to do.
Yeah.
You still living in your hometown?
Yeah, for right now, trying to save up currently and hopefully move to the greater Atlanta area at some point.
Yeah. I guess that's the way to go, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, at least now you can back in like 10 years ago, you would have to leave your state. Now you can stay in Georgia, I guess, right?
Yeah, and besides, most of my family is here, and
That's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm saying like 10 years ago, you would have
Mhm.
to, in order to pursue filmmaking, you would have to go somewhere else.
Right, right.
So, all right. Well, congratulations on everything. We're proud to show your film, and looks like it's getting some like a lot of like some success in the festival circuit. And just wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's talk again soon when you make your next film.
Yes, sir.